After seeing the success of the Rules of Sin video, a concept that I had recently introduced to the channel, I figured why not continue with the next entry into the Rules of series. For those who haven't watched the video on the Rules of Sin, which you should definitely check out, the idea behind this series is to establish rules created for a being based on their qualities and role in the game. The rules for each character is different as we factor in their past, present events that define their quality, as well as their vision, which would be their ultimate goal in the game and how it affects those around them. When we observe Sin, I based the rules on the main fact that Sin was not an intelligent being, but a rather very powerful creature whose actions were merely based on the purposes intended for it when it was created by Yu Yevon 1000 years before the events of the game. To use nerdy analogies, Sin was equipped with many functions and power, but the code for it was limited as it was used for a very specific purpose. Despite the creator losing control of the creature, Sin's actions were still heavily influenced by its code. If Sin had been unleashed to do what it pleased, Spira would have ceased to exist shortly after its creation. For this next entry, we are going more down to earth as we will be looking at one of Spira's inhabitants, SEYMOUR. If you have seen my previous videos that cover him or topics that have him involved, is a character I think is very well written. His ominous aura combined with his views made him a very formidable antagonist against the party throughout the story, and is fitting for the next person we analyze. We will go through the rules SEYMOUR played during Final Fantasy X and how it molded him into the antagonist he is in the game. So let us begin with the rules of SEYMOUR GUADO. SEYMOUR is an interesting one because, to start off, he is an intelligent being, unlike Sin, so much of the rules established for him are likely driven by his emotions as well as the events that have occurred in his lifetime. More specifically, his childhood. We could recap his history, but you can always check out my lore video on SEYMOUR, which is linked in the description below, to know more about his backstory and his lore. The first rule that he plays by, and I think is the most interesting one, is that he only reveals his true nature when he is confronted on it. Since our first meeting of SEYMOUR in the game, it is obvious that there is an ominous aura around him, especially with Tidus and Auron showing immediate distrust of him, despite his popularity amongst those of faith. When we observe the people that he murders, or attempts to murder, Jyscal, Keenock, and the party, they all share the same quality with regards to this. They discover his true motives and are unwary because of it. When he realizes that someone has discovered his true plans, he immediately reveals his cruel nature and attempts to kill them, succeeding with Jyscal and Keenock while failing against Yuna and her guardians. We know that Jyscal discovered his intentions through the sphere recording we saw in the game. Keenock, when SEYMOUR reveals to the party, albeit in an attempt to justify his ultimate goals, that Keenock had not trusted him, especially as he unremorsefully killed his own father, and the party after seeing the recording and confronting him in Macalania Temple. While most villains attempt to hide their true intentions when initially confronted, SEYMOUR does not share this quality. He immediately turns hostile upon being discovered. The second rule for SEYMOUR, and this one kind of piggybacks the first rule, is that he is willing to kill anyone who stands in his way. While he may be persuaded in other topics that don't involve his true goal, when it comes to becoming Sin to bring death to people in Spira, so they don't have to go through the suffering he did as a child, he is willing to go to any lengths to achieve it. Aside from the mentioned characters in the first rule, he is even willing to fight his own mother, as the only one who showed the true love for SEYMOUR, in order to reach this goal. We see this particular quality in an interaction during the battle with SEYMOUR Omnis. When Anima is summoned to fight him, he responds with, "Would you oppose me as well? So be it." We also see this with the Ronso. While they are likely not aware of SEYMOUR's goal, he does attempt to use Yuna to reach his ultimate goal. And by proxy, the Ronso stand in his way of achieving that during Mount Gagazet's events, leading him to killing nearly the entire Ronso tribe, leaving only a handful of them left. Now, despite this very cruel action, SEYMOUR does not act out of rage. In fact, sometimes he will try getting people to join him in his plan as he knows their value to his ultimate goal, which leads us to the third and final rule, in that he will still convince those who can help him to join his cause, friend or foe. Since he knows his ultimate goal is becoming Sin and causing destruction upon all of Spira, he does not see people as either good or evil, but rather those who follow his goal and those who oppose it. He thinks this way because he knows that when he becomes Sin, everyone will be destroyed under his watch, achieving his ultimate goal. This is most evident when he makes numerous attempts to lure Yuna to join him in Zanarkand in order to become the final Aeon and become Sin, which he ultimately fails. And that about does it for the rules of SEYMOUR. I wasn't sure how this topic was gonna go after the rules of Sin, but by the looks of it, you seem to have enjoyed that video. So if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like so it shows me that I should make more videos such as this. Also, comment down below your thoughts and other potential ideas you want me to analyze. Subscribe to the channel if you wish to see more content, and other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and that, as they say, is that.